Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Legally Insane! I'm your host, Matt Ritter. I used to be a pretty crappy lawyer. Now I'm a comedian. With me, as always, the hilarious Tony Sam.
Hello!
Tony, you're going to love what we're going to talk about this week.
Oh, my God.
It was at your suggestion that I came up with this.
Oh, well, before we get to that, and I know it's going to be juicy probably.
Always juicy.
But, you know, a lot of times our listeners, write in. All our listeners call in, they write in. They want to know, have you ever used your law degree in the real world, like for personal? Did you have to ever know the law for yourself?
Are you talking about know the law when I spent 5 years at a law firm? Or are you asking me if I needed to know the...
Did you have to ever use your powers of jurisprudence?
Yes, just in my personal life.
Your personal life.
Yes, I had to do that this year. I was one of 36 people in court for various, little offenses like running through stop signs and going through red lights. And I watched as each one of them got swatted down by the judge.
You're a scofflaw.
No, I won my case. I was the only guy that day who won their case against the law. I fought the law and I won.
Ritter won.
Yeah. Ritter won the LAPD settle. It was great. Actually, I'll tell you a little story really quick. I got pulled over for allegedly running a stop sign.
Well, for our listeners, he just pointed in a direction
near
means
the
nothing.
corner. Yeah. But I got pulled over for running a stop sign a block away from my house in the morning on the way to the gym. And I said to the officer, first of all, I didn't run the stop sign. He goes, well, you did. I go, well, I didn't.
Says you.
And then I said, just so you know, I'm an attorney.
Oh, I bet that really got him scared.
That really jammed his chops.
What did he say when he said that?
That really busted his chaps.
What did he say?
He said, are you trying to solicit an officer of the court? I was like, what? No. What would make you think that? I'm just letting you know that I know my rights. So that just rubbed me the wrong way. Well, so I'll get to that. So that was part of the reason that I fought back. First of all, I didn't run the stop sign. I was on my way to the gym. I go the same route every day, and I wasn't late. So I get to the court, and I hear them. The judge is basically listening to the plaintiffs and listening to the people who claim they didn't run the stop signs, whatever. And then he has the cop come, and he goes,
came.
So all these cops come, and you hope the cop doesn't come. If the cop doesn't come, you get off. My cop came. But every time somebody would say, I didn't go through red light, the cop would go, yeah, he did. And then the judge would go, well, I listened to him and I listened to you and I trust his credibility over yours. So I got up there after listening to 35 people go over 35 with that judge. I said, Your Honor, I respect what you're doing and I respect the police who have taken their day off to be here. But I heard you say, you're weighing the credibility of the officer versus, the civilians who have come here. So if you listen to my story and you think he's more credible than me, by all means, find me guilty of this infraction.
Did you identify yourself as a lawyer?
Yeah. So I said that and I said, listen, here's what happened. I told him I go the same route every single day and I come to a full stop at the stop sign and I wasn't late. I showed him the time on my phone. I said, but that's not the point. The point is the only reason I'm here today is because of the weird thing that he said to me. And he goes, oh, really? What did he say to you? He said, when I told him I was a lawyer, he said, are you soliciting an officer of the court? All the cops in the back of the room started cracking up. And so the judge goes to him, he goes, so did you say that? He goes, I don't remember. I was like, well, hold on. Do you even remember pulling me over or writing me the ticket? He goes, honestly, no. I'm like, what are we even doing here? Credibility. He doesn't even remember. He's just trying to recall from his sheet. And then the judge goes to him, well, would you have ever said, are you soliciting an officer of the court? And he goes, well, I used to work Vice a lot. And then the officers in the back all started cracking up. I guess he was so used to talking to prostitutes who were trying to get out of things that it was just ingrained in him to say, are you trying to solicit an officer of the court? And probably most of the time he was like, well, go ahead, solicit away. So the judge basically sided with me. I won, and I got like high fives
because he couldn't remember that.
Because he couldn't remember, and also because he said that weird thing, and it just obviously he was a BSer. Yeah,
you win.
I win. So that was
guys. That's our show. Yeah, thank you so much. Hey, what a great story.
That led right into our topic because today we're talking about revenge porn.
Wow, it's in the ether, baby. I'm licking my lips. Give me that.
For those of you who don't know what revenge porn is there anyone who doesn't know what revenge porn is?
That's where you send pics to all your exes.
I don't think
Right?
that's what revenge porn is, Tony. It's quite the contrary.
Well, it's good we're talking about
It's when
this.
you send you send your exes to their
What are you
ex.
saying? My exes said. Let me one or two.
You send whatever genitalia.
One or two, baby.
You send whatever genitalia, whatever parts they have out into
So
the
if
public.
they've sent pictures to you,
And you
share it with the world.
They don't have to have sent them to you. It's just an act. It's an act. It's defined as an act whereby the perpetrator satisfies his anger or frustration for a broken relationship through publicizing.
My anger has been satisfied.
You betcha.
you betcha, dude.
This Reddit thread is really.
Wow, I can't wait to hear about.
This 4chan site is really satisfied.
I can't wait to hear about how this started in the 1600s. I love how we always, our listeners, we always start.
Is that cave painting, Katie? Oh my God.
I gave you that cave painting in private. How did you chisel that off the cave wall?
Hey man, smell this old cloth.
Oh, that's Uggs. Uggs cloth. You want to smell Uggs cloth? Hey, this bear claw's been in my asshole. Now I wear it around my neck.
The bear was looking for a lawyer. I did not give you permission.
Are you trying to solicit this bear claw?
So revenge porn is not one of the old school ones that we have to go back hundreds of years.
Oh, those would have been great stories.
Unfortunately, it's more recent.
I keep a lithograph under my powdered wig. It is of the dame's bosom.
Can you imagine if you were hiring for that? You're like, I need you to make a revenge porn portrait for me.
Send in my revenger.
I am the revenger. There should be a comic book, The Revenger. He just makes revenge porn. So this is sort of
I can't wait.
This is sort of a relatively new domain, revenge porn.
It would probably.
I'll give you the
with
quick,
the advent of cell phone.
Yeah, I'll give
cameras.
you the quick history of revenge porn. It's not. I mean, it doesn't go back that far.
Oh, I know who we're talking about today.
What? What are we talking about?
Are we going to talk about Brett Favre?
Well, I mean, that would be a part of the history of revenge porn.
Good.
I mean,
goody.
Yeah, I mean, look, revenge porn doesn't quite go back that far. I mean, it's sort of
not as far as back as Brett Favre.
Yeah, it goes back to the Brett Favre era. It starts in the Brett Favre era.
Yeah, who was the first revenge porner?
You want to know the history of revenge porn? It goes back a little bit before.
Yeah,
Brett Favre.
I want to know.
In the 1980s, Hustler had a little section.
I'm not familiar.
Oh, you are so familiar.
What's that about?
Oh,
Are those endearing stories about childhood?
You had the biggest stack of Hustler in your closet.
I got fat stacks.
I liked Hustler better than Playboy, to be honest.
Urination.
Yeah,
photo.
I like the fetish stuff
You
more.
like piss and
I was always more into that stuff. So they had a section called Beaver Hunt. Guess what that was about?
What's that a fetish? Everyone's just hunting that.
Yeah, no, it's when you spread open an animal to make it look like a
What?
No, it was a beaver. It was a George O'Keeffe animal paintings.
It's just artistic vaginas.
Beaver Hunt published nude photos of unwilling and unknown woman taken by her husband during a camping trip. And
so that sounds like the original.
That was the original.
Now, was her face featured or was it blacked out?
No, it was full on.
What was the outcome of that?
And not just the images, they mentioned her passion for collecting arrowheads. So you knew who it was in the neighborhood. You know, there weren't that many.
Oh, everyone in the neighborhood all knew about her arrowhead.
Yeah, I mean, come on. The lady with the arrowhead collection, you know, all the kids she would bring it for trick or treat, you know? She had little arrowheads for them. That was the worst. You're like, just give me the goddamn Reese's Pieces.
No, anyone know in that neighborhood, you'd have to know that all the men were reading Hustler.
Well, yeah.
So
everybody read.
Who's more disgusting?
Everybody. Hustler was
the arrowhead lady who had a little in flagrante delicto.
Listen, everybody read Hustler back then. I don't want you giving Hustler a bad name.
I love it for the articles.
I loved it for the beaver hunt.
Oh, all right. I was like, no one's reading the articles in a Hustler.
So then in 2000s, an Italian researcher, Sergio Messina, identified an emergent genre he called realcore pornography. This was photos and videos of ex-girlfriends initially shared in Usenet groups.
So that's like deep internet.
Yeah, that was the deep dark web.
Like
Remember that?
The black web.
Yeah, the black web. And then in 2008, porn video aggregator Xtube claimed that the site was getting 2 to 3 complaints a week about revenge porn.
Oh.
And that was when these sites popped up called Real Ex-Girlfriends, I Know That Girl. Do you remember these?
I feel like everything on YouPorn is revenge porn.
No, those are all, you're falling for the oldest trick in the book, Tony. Those are fake.
Hot tan ass.
Yeah, those
spread
are
by
not,
big
I love those ones where she's
brown
like,
wiener.
where the girl's like, I'm about to cheat on my boyfriend. He cheated on me. He's asleep right over there.
Oh, that's not real?
That's not real.
Oh, why do I get clickbaited?
But this is real. A 20-year-old house painter from suburban New Zealand in 2010 was the first person to go to prison for revenge porn.
The Revenger.
The Revenger. No, maybe the Revenger was this woman. The same year in a gender reversing example in Australia known as Dickie Leaks.
Dick. That's clever.
It was pretty good. Back in 2010.
Down under.
Yeah, they always got.
Down under. We're looking at your wallaby.
Hey, well, in America, their toilet flushes that way, and ours flushes that way. And they drive on the right side.
I want to show you a pic of my boyfriend's tallywhacker.
They have WikiLeaks. We've got Dickie Leaks.
You like what we did there?
Hey,
do you? It's wicked googly.
They throw their football. I don't know how. What do they? Rugby. Oh, we got rugby.
It's still a football, right?
It's called a rugby ball.
Oh, I was like, it's called a poop snort. He was right.
Yeah, that's kind of disappointing.
Oh my gosh. Well, good for them. That's clever.
So then here was the guy who became the king of. Actually, so the girl. A teenager uploaded naked photos of 2 famous Australian rules football players and said, I just want to let them know what it feels like to have your reputation absolutely ruined. I mean, assuming they weren't happy about it. A lot of people are pretty proud when they get their dickies leaked.
Is this before Twitter? I feel like Twitter does that for everybody.
Yeah. So then here became a guy who was the king of revenge porn. His name was Hunter Moore. This guy, piece of work, born in 1986.
So he's
revenge porn's a young man's game.
Yeah, he's only 30 and he's already the king of it.
Oh, he's already over the hill.
So what? He just film women unbeknownst?
No. He was an internet personality from Sacramento. He managed the defunct website Is Anyone Up?
That's a website?
It was. He just pled guilty to 2 felonies, and he's serving a 3-year sentence in jail.
2 felonies, only 3 years?
Yeah, well, we're going to get into the laws behind this. It's actually pretty tough. But before I get to that, so this guy, real piece of work. He would brag about it.
You keep saying piece of work. I don't think you want to say piece of
Yeah, I mean,
Go ahead. You don't have to don't edit yourself for me.
Right. Okay.
I love you. You can't do any wrong.
So he and a college hacker, they would break into accounts and steal people's photos.
They were hacking.
Yeah.
Is it revenge porn if you're hacking into a stranger's phone?
So they didn't get him on revenge porn. They got him on cyber crimes. Yeah. But so the reason that this guy ended up getting caught is he was being real cocky about everything. A waitress's mom, this poor waitress, ended up on this revenge porn site, and this mother named Charlotte Laws took him to court. And
no one is above the law.
Except Charlotte Law. That's good. I love that idea. It's like Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, we just need to have a female lead with the last name Laws.
Charlotte Laws. He messed with the wrong mum. Woodland Hills mother.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, she was getting death threats.
That's valley trash.
Yeah, so she went after the guy. He became to be known the most hated man on the internet. And
well, how come I don't know him then?
I'm teaching you
I
this
love
stuff.
to hate people.
Yeah, well, this guy. And then Rolling Stone, did a big expose on this guy, but they hung out with him and they were like, yeah, he was banging 2 girls and blowing.
They hung out with him he's a cool dude.
Yeah, basically Rolling Stone expose, but / fanboying.
It sounds like a fluff piece, not a
expose.
It
was pretty much a puff piece. This guy called himself a professional life ruiner.
So who is he targeting?
Any Mostly
Celebrities?
young girls. No, not even celebs.
So just random strangers
Just
who would
random
hack their
yeah.
computers?
Yeah.
How would he do that?
He had a guy named Charles Evans who went under the alias of Gary Jones. He had his web guy.
Charles Evans chose the alias.
Charles in
Gary
charge of the porn and the pics.
And wrecking lives.
Lives. Charles in charge of
our
the
gays and our
rights. And I want, and you want pics of my ex-girl. There's a new king of internet porn.
His alias is Gary.
Yeah. It's a weird alias.
Gary.
Right? Charles Evans, alias Gary Jones.
I want to be Gary to the world.
Yeah. My name's Charles. It's too boring.
Gary? I don't know any Gary.
Oh, that's good. That's good. You know Gary?
Yeah.
I want a nickname too. My name's Hunter, but I feel like I should do something cooler. What about Steve?
Yeah. John.
I'll be John.
I'll be John Porn.
The ambiguously gay Are You Up duo.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So they both went down to Chinatown?
Yeah, so they went down, but Kamala Harris has been big on getting into these guys, but I'll get into Moore was a Woodland Hills guy, actually, and he dropped out apparently to be the king of
dropped out of
high school to be the king of internet porn. Yeah.
Big move. Good move.
But what's fascinating about it, so this woman, Charlotte, she sort of became a hero. You know, she took it upon herself because not a lot of people were really thinking about
Is she a lawyer?
The legalities of it. No. She hired her lawyer and just went after this guy to try and get him to shut down his site. And she filed Digital Copyright Act claims to get it removed. She talked to the FBI. They didn't really care.
I feel like this is a story that TMZ would have sunk their yellow teeth into.
Yeah, and the LA police basically told her daughter shouldn't have bothered putting up the photos. They blamed on victim blaming, they call that.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
It's her fault because she had a vagina.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's interesting is a lot of states started taking notice of revenge porn, and they started passing laws.
Watching it, you mean?
Well, obviously they knew about it.
We
already.
need to
Most
look
of the
into
state senators were like, "Oh, you know what? Just leave them on my desk. Just leave the materials on my desk."
I would like to introduce Exhibit A to the state senate.
Can you come back in a half hour and make sure my door's locked and hold my calls? I've
issued each and one of you a box of Kleenex to investigate the evidence.
You're going to have to go deep on this one. Everybody, tell me what you think. So 38 states started passing laws on revenge porn, and then a curious thing happened. The ACLU
said, "What are you doing? It's sexy."
The ACLU took up for the Revengers. I
thought the ACLU were supposed to be good people. Well, it's a thin red line.
Basically what happened was, one of the head attorneys for the ACLU said that it is a thin line because it encroaches on a little something we call the First Amendment.
The First Amendment is you can't hurt anybody.
Freedom of speech.
As long as it doesn't hurt anybody.
As long as that's not true. So that's what a lot of people think. But really, the policy for what determines whether speech should be allowed is speech restrictions are only allowed if they pass a strict scrutiny test. And that means that they have to be narrowly tailored to serve a compelling state interest. But
I thought if it promotes hate or violence.
Well, yes. So they've narrowly carved out certain things that promote violence and things that they call hate speech. But generally, they will not allow content-based speech restrictions because we don't want to say, okay, if you're conservative, you don't get to espouse conservative viewpoints or, gay viewpoints or whatever it is. So the ACLU stepped in and said, whoa, revenge porn. It's a little bit broad to just say, hey, it's illegal to publish some nude image without consent.
So they've now worked around it by probably lumping it under a cybercrime.
Well, so that's how they ended up going after a lot of people. It's sort of still kind of up in the air because basically the ACLU's argument was, hey, if you just say it's illegal to publish nude images without consent, then it makes all kinds of publishers like libraries and photography collectives into criminals if they share, nude images that are newsworthy.
Okay, so this is one of these stories that I want to figure it out.
Yeah.
Now, did those laws get repealed because of the ACLU?
So actually, Arizona did overturn their law, and I think they went back to the drawing board because
John McCain.
He shows up for the important ones.
Right, he was there. He battled through. Very bad headache to talk about
to make sure the revenge porn.
Can't we all agree on one thing? Let's be bipartisan and vote yes to illegal. I'm John McCain.
That's your McCain impression?
That's funny. Hi, I'm John McCain. I was a pow. I was a pow and a Mia.
I'm Don McCain.
Don McCain.
I'm Don. Is my name Don or is it John? I have to tell you, I was subjected to a lot of nude videos in Vietnam.
Hey, can somebody get Don some green tea?
I was subjected to a lot of nude photography and live nude images.
In Laos.
You talk about Dickie Leaks. These men pissed all over me.
I was in a pit of piss.
The original.
And they
Dickie
would
Leaks.
force me to watch videos of their ex-girlfriend filleting. And I loved it.
I loved every minute of it. My brother John.
Your brother John. I see.
He still loves it.
He's a war hero.
Even after I told him you got to pass these revenge porn laws, he said, never.
Nobody knows about his twin brother, Don McCain.
I was also a POW. But I never left Vietnam because they have the best porn.
In my mind. I never left in my mind. Every day I hear the bombs and the guns and the moans and the screams and the cum.
They gave me the option to go back to Arizona where they have revenge porn laws. Or to stay in Vietnam where the best Dickie League pics are.
I wish you could all see him become Don McCain here. Just staring. He glared at me the whole time. It was very intense.
So, 35 states have created revenge porn. Don McCain signing off.
Don King. No, it's Don King. That was a great Don.
So revenge porn laws are essentially content-based restrictions. So they have the burden of meeting this strict scrutiny. We've carved out exceptions for obscenity and hate crimes and all that stuff, but revenge porn isn't considered one of those exceptions. And the reason is that a lot of I guess you could say a lot of nude images may have newsworthy content. For example, Anthony Weiner.
Oh, because he's a bad boy?
Yeah, I mean, that's newsworthy.
I know, it derailed Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign.
Right. So shouldn't that be allowed, right? I mean, shouldn't that kind of nude images be allowed?
According to the ACLU, it is.
Right. So,
did they actually show the photos
of Anthony Weiner?
Mm-hmm.
I
know they existed.
Yeah, I thought it was just him in his underwear.
I always look.
Yeah,
I gotta see it.
But so there's been a lot of big celebrity revenge porn cases.
Do you look at those when they get released?
I mean, I watched the Kim Kardashian video. I watched the Paris Hilton video. I looked at every photo in the fappening. I looked at Misha Barton's. No, not really.
The fappening.
Yeah.
I missed that one. Jennifer Lawrence. Did you see her?
Yes, I've seen every single one of them. I've seen all of them. Does that make me a bad person?
You're just as guilty.
Yeah. Does that make me a bad person?
I don't know. Let's ask your wife.
Oh my God, my wife chimes in on the podcast
for
the
listeners
first time
who didn't hear that, she said yes.
Oh boy, Rob Kardashian is now.
Oh, I've seen all his nudes.
Yeah, so he's sending nudes of his wife, Black.
Oh no, I would love to see Rob Kardashian.
Too? Oh my God, I didn't know that.
I bet he's got very hairy genitals.
Yeah, I don't think I would want to.
No, he looks like a hairy boy.
So the question is whether it should be protected by the Constitution. I mean, because they're basically, the argument is, do these nude pics have anything to do with public commentary about society? And are cyber stalking laws enough?
I think they do have a very strong commentary about our society.
Yeah, so that makes them newsworthy.
That means we're all scum.
We are scum. Our country is scum. So
I mean, mostly you, because I don't look at it.
Oh, you've never
I don't look
looked
at this filth.
But some states are trying to carve them out more narrowly. They basically said that
no donkey shaming.
No donkeys
shaming.
No donkey shaming.
Yeah,
we want to protect the donkeys,
right.
But Wiener.
I love you said very carved out.
You would carve out donkeys.
Oh yeah, they got rights.
They got rights.
You're going down to Tijuana's and see the donkey show.
Did Eeyore have a girlfriend?
Have I ever had a girlfriend?
Did Eeyore ever? Do you think she ever sent revenge?
Well, no one I'd like to talk about.
She's got all your pics, doesn't she?
She used to take my tail off.
Oh, man.
Because it's only held on by a button.
I think I saw one of those. I went to the bathroom at the zoo, and it was up there on the wall. There were all these.
Yeah,
for a good time call.
That was mine.
Yeah, that was you, huh? For a good ass whipping.
She caught Tigger curling his curly tail into my curly anus.
Oh, man.
Like a corkscrew.
We should sue.
Yeah, do you know someone?
Yeah, I know a good revenge porn.
I know a lawyer who can get out of traffic stops.
I know a good lawyer. Lisa Bloom, she represented Misha Barton. She's big on all that stuff.
Oh.
She's Gloria Allred's daughter.
Oh, she's a ball buster.
No, she's a real ball buster. She declared victory. They got this guy not to distribute any of his images and give them back to her.
Gloria Allred did.
Yeah. Gloria Allred's daughter.
Oh. What's her name?
Lisa Bloom.
Oh.
Yeah, so she managed to win a case. But we were talking about the legality. What do we think? Where do we think? So some states Minnesota's come the closest to kind of balancing out the law properly. Theirs is said to be well drafted because it explicitly protects images and videos that were made or obtained in a commercial setting.
Minnesota?
I
feel like they got a lot of people making a lot of bad videos.
A lot of the
a lot of amateur.
Amateur. I bet you if you looked at like geography, IP addresses of amateur.
A lot of dirty films with unmanicured private areas.
Also, it's probably like just really the temperature isn't right in the room, like super cold.
No, it's all blown out or it's too dark. It's too dark. Definitely pubic hair that goes up to the belly button.
The high pube.
Yeah.
The high patch. We call that the cornfield.
You call it the high
I call it the cornfield.
It's the high patch.
I call it the cornfield when it's like you can't even, it's like I call it the penis in the. It's like a kid in a cornfield when the penis is smaller than is lower than the.
Looks like peat moss.
Yeah. Oh man, we're getting into a dark hole here.
That's staying.
That's staying. Constitutional scholar Edwin Chemerinsky declared Minnesota's bill to be sound because the First Amendment does not protect a right to invade a person's privacy by publicizing without consent nude photographs or video of sexual activity.
What year did that happen? I wonder if that happened under Jesse the Body Ventura's.
Yeah, this is all in the last couple of years. This is all new. Everybody's in 2014, 15.
Oh, that's under Franken's watch.
Yeah, these are all new, but mostly right now there's a cyber civil rights initiative that people are trying to, protect victims, but at the same time an individual's right to free speech. We're trying to balance the right to be able to post nudies.
I want to exercise my right to share my ex's big butthole.
Yeah, and you should be entitled.
I want to I deserve it.
I mean, I think
it's my right.
I think so. There's the couples are now drafting social media prenuptial agreements.
Oh, that's smart.
To include provisions relating to revenge porn.
Is that enforceable?
Apparently.
You know what kind of sites I don't think are like there was this site where women could go on and rate their ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, I don't like. See, here's what I don't like about it, Ray. Why is that okay?
Because you have no. You can't defend yourself. That's why I don't care about it.
Yeah.
Because one, you're not allowed to see it. Two,
right.
You can't say, hey, that's her side. How about this?
I feel bad because Tony clearly was on one of those. This is coming from a deeply personal place.
I've never.
What did it say, Tony? I'm going to guess. Okay, so it was like T. His initials were TS, and he was a very selfish lover.
He was selfish.
He
one and done. That's what they call it.
And he would drink heavily, and it was always that thing where I'd have to go down on him for 45 minutes and nothing would happen, and he'd go, "I'm so close, I'm almost there,
They call me the wet noodle.
The wet noodle. That was. There was a picture of a noodle with your glasses on it. It was a picture of a noodle with glasses.
Let me tell you.
And curly hair.
That was my
Tony the Noodle
avatar.
Tony the Noodle.
No one ever did.
That's what happened.
Mostly because I preemptive strike. I went onto those sites and I made sure that you can, as a man, you can opt out. You can make it so they cannot put your profile, your Facebook.
Let me say something to you, my friend. It takes somebody who knows they were going to be up on there to go preemptively do that.
No, I didn't want it to happen.
You don't see this guy? Well, I don't. Now you're making me think I have to go look on there.
You should, because I bet you're in the out of 10s. You're at a 2.
Oh, I don't know.
You're rated 2 out of 10.
I don't want to know anything about this. I want to go back to the revenge porn laws.
I just didn't want anyone to disparage me. I'm a good boy.
Yeah. I don't want to think about that, but you're right. I feel like there are these double standards sometimes. But do you think that revenge porn should be protected by the First Amendment in any way?
Matt. Yeah, sure. No, of course not. You dummy.
At all? Do you think any nude pictures?
I don't because I feel like it's libelous.
Yeah,
I think it should fall under at least privately. I think it's actionable in a civil
court. Well, they already have. So that's another.
Look at me. Did you just hear what I said? How
it was
eloquent?
Wrong. I skipped over the part. Libel is not a lie. So libel wouldn't it would be intentional infliction of emotional distress.
I sounded so smart.
Yeah, I didn't want to correct you. I was just going to let that slide. But so this guy Hunter Moore, he's coming.
I'm not a lawyer.
This guy Hunter Moore is getting out of jail pretty soon. And we'll see if he's back in action.
I hope someone posts all his porn of him getting in prison.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That would be a nice revenge.
Yeah, that would be the double switch.
The revenge. But, I was going to say this. What's interesting about the ACLU is, everybody thinks, hey, the ACLU are the good guys. And I think there's this sort of rush to judgment on what is good versus bad versus, hey, are we trying to uphold the law to protect our rights? Because, an example that maybe we'll do a podcast on this sometimes, the ACLU actually defended the Nazis in Skokie, the famous Skokie case where the Nazis wanted to march in your neighborhood.
Wow. I told you that my grandfather claims that his grandfather founded Skokie.
Founded the town of Skokie?
That's right.
Well, we'll have to look that up when we do the Skokie episode.
I don't think it's true. But that would mean that my
father invented the question mark.
My great-great-grandfather founded Skokie, but he said they didn't give him credit. And how do you? That's
what the Nazis were marching for. They wanted to give your grandfather credit
to stop drinking. Grandpa, you've had enough.
I invented Skokie.
Give me another MGD, and I'll tell you about how I perfected the baseball.
The Nazis were marching in Skokie to defend his honor.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, so the ACLU defended the Nazis in the 70s. So the
ACLU, they're not they're not above reproach.
Well, no, I think that we just look at it through the wrong prism. It's not about good or bad. It's about the ACLU is a necessary tool to defend against government overreach. I think a lot of people just think of the ACLU as, hey,
defending people.
Good guy. We're the good guys, but sometimes the quote unquote bad guys may need to be defended in the cases of Nazis or revenge porn or whatever. In the case where
they probably err on the side of they defend the Westboro Baptist Church,
absolutely, they do.
Their right for free speech.
Absolutely, because again, this goes into the Supreme Court has a strict line of we don't want to side with any content-based restrictions. We don't want to get into a world where we're picking sides.
Guys, I don't want to pick sides here, but if I just had a stroke.
I think this man is having a stroke.
What do they say? What are some things the Westboro says? Like,
the Westboro
God
beliefs?
hates fags.
Yes.
That kind of thing.
That's kind of their big thing. Yeah. Westboro
If they want to say it, let them say it.
Yeah. God hates fags is their number one thing. But so the idea would be that the ACLU would probably defend their right to march through a town and hold up signs. Although, there was an argument that the, displaying swastikas was, akin to hate speech, and there's this argument. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like we're getting very sensitive. I mean, I'm Jewish. I don't really like seeing swastikas floating around.
I don't like seeing them.
Yeah, I don't like seeing them. But at the same time, I do like me some revenge porn.
Stupid, dirty boy.
My wife's in the other room. Like, this is the end. So anyway, the Supreme Court hasn't taken it up yet. So I think it'll be interesting.
Oh, so it has gone through all the...
A lot of states are passing laws. They're sort of at that level where we'd like to see a case.
I just heard that our current president will appoint 1 out of every 8 federal level appellate court judges. So if they get one of his appointees, I'm sure you'll happily know that revenge porn will be legal.
You think?
Yeah. That judge will grab him by the...
Oh, you think
that judge is going to grab this law by the...
I'm gonna grab this. In the case of Hunter Moore versus the state of California, I find in favor of...
The ruling was high 5 to 4.
Get over here, young man, so I can spank you on the hand.
I want to put my gavel on your ding dong.
I want to spank your hand with my hand.
I want to put my gavel in your...
I want to put my gavel on you. So that was an interesting little tidbits about revenge porn and the state of the law on revenge porn. And Hunter Moore, who we want to hang out with when he gets out of jail, call me.
Hey, so what's
scumbag?
So the future is we don't know.
The future is we don't know. The future is states are going to narrowly tailor their laws because there isn't really a public interest in you putting your ex's nudies online.
So if you got your nudies, now's the time to do it.
Right. Now, if you've got those nudies, everyone will hate you, but it's not illegal. You got to get them out.
It's not illegal.
No, in 37 states, it is illegal. But
what are the other...
should we look at the states that it isn't legal?
Let's talk about where people... For our listeners, this is a service we're doing. If you really want to... If you really want to get revenge.
Oh, man. A 50-state guide. This feels kind of gross that we're doing this for people.
No, I don't.
Okay, no, we'll do it. We'll do it. So the states where there is no revenge porn laws, right? That's what we want to...
Let me guess. Deep South.
Hawaii.
Really?
Yeah.
That's strange. That's where our president...
Indiana, no revenge porn.
That makes sense.
Mississippi.
Oh, that makes sense. M-I, crooked letter, I, humpback.
This is cool. Montana, April 17th, the Senate killed a revenge porn bill proposal.
Because all the state senators were busy.
Nevada does not have a revenge porn.
Oh, weird. I thought Las Vegas was the beacon of integrity
They would have been the Plymouth Rock of revenge porn.
They have like a drive.
We didn't land on revenge porn laws. Revenge porn laws landed on us.
They have drive-through revenge porn chapels.
Do you take this woman's nudie pics and keep them?
No, get it off the internet. Then I declare you revenge porn.
Do you declare by your word that you will erase those revenge porn?
I don't.
You are free to go. Yeah.
Those were some of those states were surprising. Some were right on the money.
Yeah.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
That's strange.
And then who else doesn't? South Carolina and South Dakota. Both. South is anything with the South.
Yep, and the word South.
Anything with the word South in it. West Virginia.
Oh, Mountain Mama, take me home to revenge some porn.
Oh man, West Virginia and those
John
coal
Denver's
mines,
song
baby.
about revenge porn.
A lot of revenge, coal mine revenge porn, and the smoky
no.
mountains.
Well, what a great topic.
Yeah. So, but what will be interesting is when we get to go back after they've passed the laws and give people updates, our listeners.
Oh, yeah.
On when the Supreme Court hears these things.
Can't wait.
So I hope you have enjoyed a little bit of history and legal craziness about revenge porn. I certainly enjoyed that.
Hey, make sure you check out our website.
when it becomes publicly available.
Yeah, it'll be
Revenge for the Revenges.
Revenges.
This has been